And we're live on Facebook. Good evening, everybody. Friday evening, 5:30 as usual. It's the Sheila Exchange with me, Sheila Singham. And today I've got two guests who are going to talk about persevering in a pandemic. And they are Jermaine B, who is a founder, owner of the Arc Event Space and a new business that she started, which is iKrave. And we have Alvin Lee, his normal pre-pandemic business, and a little bit during pandemic, his Iconics. And then he started a brand called Little Fat Pokk. Now, let's find out what this is all about. During the pandemic, as you know, many people who were in the events business found that everything came to a standstill. We couldn't have events. So until people got used to the idea of pivoting to a virtual platform, there were no events for a while. And then people like slowly, as if awakening from a daze, came out and started doing virtual events. And today, 1 year plus later, virtual events have become quite sophisticated, right? But still, it's not like business as it was before, right? So what do you do in a situation like that? You don't sit down and cry in your event space and say, I have no business. You got to keep moving. You just need to do something else. The whole thing about this pandemic is if you just sit down and moan about what isn't, you're not going to get past into a new space or finding hope, right? So you need to keep moving and find new things to do. So welcome, Jermaine and Alvin. Thank you for joining us this evening and sharing with us, being willing to share your experiences with us. Right? Okay, thank you. Right. It's such a pleasure to have you both here. And Jermaine, for years that, I have been on the other side of the sort of microphone, so to speak. So it's good to have you in the spot right now, behind the mic, so to speak. Okay, so let's start with you first, Jermaine. Tell us a little bit about, your career path before events and how do you get into events in the first place, events-related business.
Right. Thanks, Sheila, for the introduction. So I was previously with BFM. That was how I met you, Sheila.
That's right.
So I was the community manager there. I run a lot of events, host events for the community, BFM radio listeners mainly. So I was, together with my mom and family, we're all about events. We love hosting events since young. We're all about going for parties and gatherings and just getting people together. So then after organizing a lot of events with BFM, then 3 kids happened. So I had to take a little step back to see what else I can do without committing to a full-time employment. Hence, the Arc Event Space came about. So the Arc Event Space is a space where we have Sri Hatamas, and it's a place where we gather people together, with the aim of building people relationships, getting, from corporate functions to intimate gatherings to basically anything. As long as you want to get together, come over, we will do the setup for you. We have pretty sort of interior and all that. So that was how we got into the event space. Yes, and of course, everything else is history with the whole pandemic, but we'll get there later.
Yes, yes, thank you, Jermaine. Incidentally, I have availed of the Arc Event Space before, and I thought, it's very professionally done. It's amazing from start to finish. I had a fantastic experience, and I'm really sad that we can't use that space anymore. What about you, Alvin? How did you get into events? You've been in it for a long, long time, huh?
Yeah, it's almost two decades. After my study, I actually took up a job as an intern in an event company. And for my first intern job, I actually fell in love with it because of the excitement that I get from a concept turned into a reality. From an empty space, you turn into something, a hoo-ha events. And what I get from the people is actually the positive feedback. That's the passion that I love. Although everybody was saying that event is, you work 24/7, okay? But I find that event is very good. The client will always give you a good job, and that is what I'm looking into. So in this 20 years, I've been in event line doing event management, and I've been doing many big event and small event. I even worked in Laos for 4 years and run up to Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia as well. Then I finally came back to Malaysia and start doing an event again. Then after that, now I let go my event management and I jump into event props fabrication. So now I'm basically doing event props fabrication and also some of my food products.
Events prop fabrication. Okay, so that's interesting. So there's still a little bit of the events related thing going on with you, Alvin. So adalah sikit a little bit of business from that angle
Yes,
coming,
there
right?
is.
But okay, when the pandemic first hit, I'm sure, like as I mentioned earlier, everyone just like, huh, what to do? Cancel, 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 cannot do events, don't know how to do, what to do and all that. So how did you guys feel? I want to know about the feelings, right? Because a lot of people just say, oh, okay, no, just pivot, look positive, be positive. But at that point in time, I'm sure the feelings were, like, gosh, what do I do? Was there panic? Was there, fear, disappointment? What did you feel, Alvin? Let's start with you first.
I didn't feel much initially, not knowing the scale of this pandemic was going to grow so big, and I thought it will come and just go away. So, but during this pandemic, during the second wave, I know the thing will get worse, and then I think we have to adapt into this pandemic, and we can see that it won't be a 1 year, 2 years. It may be 5 years or 10 years. So we have to adapt into all this. Like wearing a mask is a necessity. Washing your hand with sanitizer is a necessity. So we have to follow this culture. Even if future is coming or whatever, we just have to do what we need to do. We have to change ourselves, our living style, our work and everything. How can we make it happen?
Okay, what about
just sitting around
and feeling sorry for yourself? What about you, Jermaine? I mean, you opened up this event space in what, 2017, 2018?
So we opened up in 2019.
2019.
So that's July 2019. So we only technically operated for like half a year before the whole pandemic hit us. Honestly, I did think about the whole situation and like wanting to cry and go like, oh my God, what is happening? Because we all thought like it was God's planning for us, getting this in place and, everything, there wasn't any hiccup whatsoever. So it really did hit me quite a bit because, things just went a bit of a downhill from there because things were all good for the first 6 months, right? We had a lot of events, the double booking, like you said, you came and I remember telling you that we had somebody booking for that day, but thankfully it was a night, yours was a day. So we were trying to work around, digesting that entire emotion, right? So yes, in terms of feelings, it really hit us bad because we just started, things were going great, and then it just went like a real crash down. Like similarly to Alvin, we thought it was just going to be temporary. So again, the whole uplifting thing, right? Oh, don't worry, it's going to be for a while, it's going to get better. Then we spoke to the landlord said, okay lah, we'll give you some discounts, thank God for that. But then after that, we got, okay lah, not too bad lah, still can survive lah, our cash flow enough to lari lah, for the next maybe half a year or so. Then yeah lah, the whole ding dong thing lah. But
that's the next thing lah. Okay, so you started like this, oh, don't know lah, this pandemic, okay, maybe a few months. Then from 3 months became 6 months, became some more, and then the SOPs changed. 1 minute can do events, and then with social distancing, then another minute cannot do, and then can do, then cannot do, like yo like that. So how you make plans and then cannot, then you make plans and cannot. So how did y'all handle that whole changing, fluctuating, 1 minute can, 1 minute cannot kind of a scenario? Jermaine.
Okay, so yeah, it was like a yo-yo to us, completely all the way from clients saying yes, paying the deposits because we collect even deposit before the event and even before they pay full. So right up to clients asking if they can cancel, is there a possibility of a refund? So yeah, it was like we had to, like you said, SOPs were constantly changing. I think it's not just for our industry, it's basically for all non-essentials. So then I went to the police station and I tell them that we need to get a letter, because clients were also afraid, hey, can we run events? Yeah, but you sure you got the SOPs right? Can we get a formal letter? So I did that, and then the police said, oh, we couldn't sign. Oh, but actually you can go to the other police station and try your luck. So it was a lot of all those things, right? Because they are not sure themselves.
Mm.
Authorities are not sure themselves, and I think they also they're not vouched for anything, right? Because just in case anything happens, then clients come to us and say, "Hey, so you all can operate until 10 p.m. Or 12 a.m." So there were a lot of questions, right? Which we were really not sure of, but the whole yo-yo situation went to a complete halt lah, as we all know, because when they didn't allow for events, and that's usually the first thing that they stop, right? Because it's completely non-essentials. So yeah, that was how it is for me lah.
So for you, it came to like halt lah, because event space ma. But for Alvin, I think it was still events pivoted to the virtual platform. So how did you adapt to that then?
Actually, it's about the same like Jermaine. We're having in and out. Sometimes the client like confirm a job, then we went for pitching, we went for the costing and everything. Then end of the day, they said might postpone because next week there might be a lockdown or anything. So end of the day, we actually lost the job again. This is one. Then number two is like what Jermaine said, they put in a deposit, and then we are like holding a deposit, and we built up a backdrop, and then they said the event will be postponed. They won't tell you anything about cancellation. They only tell you postpone and postpone. So it's like I'm been holding onto the backdrop, and I'm holding to a little bit of the deposit, which you can't get quite a big amount nowadays. So it's actually quite hard. And then in terms of event, it's actually it's credit basis. So sometimes you get a job, and then once they cancel, it's like I have to hold on to the cash flow as well. So it's actually quite hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. You can't move forwards. You can't move backwards because you got all the backdrop and stuff and collected the money. How to move backwards? Dismantle the backdrop and do what? You spend all that effort and time and money doing it. It's a tough place to be in. So, but I mean, you guys are like amazing lah. I think like when you go through things like this, you cry for a while. Like even for me, right? Being in the training and coaching business, everything stands still. My one client who was going to sign us up for a whole year of trainings every week almost, just put on hold. That's it. And that was like a huge thing. And so many of them stopped. And then when we said, no, we can do virtual training, I quickly equipped myself up, pivoted, learn how to do virtual training. We can do virtual training, but our people are not ready. Now they're ready, because when you have to, you will. Like what you said, Alvin, when you need to pivot, you need to pivot. Like for the rest of our lives, we'll all have to be walking around with masks. We cannot go around hugging each other, greeting, maybe just hi, look at different ways of greeting each other, different ways of having events, dining, whatever it is. It's terrible, but we've survived. And I think what we need to do is not sort of complain about this whole difference, but to just adapt to it and get on with it, which is what you guys did. You pivoted to the food business. Okay, so events for you, Jermaine, being in BFM, organizing events and then having an event space and all that. And then for you, Alvin, events, regionally and here, then you went into doing the backdrop fabrication on it. And suddenly, hey, the food business, how did that come about? I mean, from there to there, you know what I mean? So Jermaine, tell us, how did this food business, what is the food business and how did it come about?
Okay, so we started iKrave sauces. So iKrave sauces, I'm just going to show you guys a lot easier. So
fantastic.
we have like sambal bawang, sambal belacan, garlic chili, and also chili hijau jeruk. So how this entire thing came about is because, like I said, as family, since young, my mom and I love hosting people around. And my mom is a super good cook. She hosts people and people always go for like, second round and third round when it comes to her dishes and all that. Then one day, my husband and I talked about having, some like kampung feel. We miss our mom because she stays quite a distance from us. Then we thought, hey, how good is it to get some of her sambal, Even like my husband, Kevin, he mentioned, it would be nice to get some sambal from your mom. Then I told her, hey, mom, I'm craving for, so that was how the name came about, iKrave. So I told her, hey, mom, we are actually craving for your sambal. Is it possible to get some for us? So she got really excited, because, she's also home, right? With the whole usual day in, day out, mundane sort of lifestyle. So she got excited, she started making, and then very quickly she sent it to us. And then we got so excited, it felt like it helped close the void of missing home a little bit. Then after that, my husband and I just had this random chats about how, it was so nice to get this, now we don't feel so like, we don't feel miss like your mom so much and all that. Okay, actually, why don't, we start doing this? Then my husband said, why don't you all get into the summer business? And I'm like, sure. Then he's like, no, just try something, you never know. Don't worry, I'll help you kickstart. He said, I'll help you buy like 5 sets or something for my, bros and all that. So then that gave me a little bit of excitement, and I talked to my mom, and she was like, ons, So that was how we then end up in the iKrave sauces F&B business. That was like, yeah.
And for just for the information of listeners, I have partaken of all the 4 different types of what you call them, relishes, the sauces and all that, and they're absolutely delicious. And that's why I thought we need to have Jermaine on the show today, because they are awesome. Must order again and again and again. You make your little soup noodles, just add a bit of those, or you're making some fried rice, just a bit of it's amazing stuff. So I totally vouch for it, right? Because my taste buds have tasted them. Alvin, what about you? Tell us a little bit about your food business and how did it come about, lah?
Well, I live with my parents and like mom. Everybody is like mom, love to cook. Okay, so when I was young, I wanted to be a chef after completing my high school, but I ended up studying graphic design. I went into event management. So I didn't give up my dream though. I started out with doing cake decoration. That is about 12 years ago, and I'm a self-taught novelty cake decorator because I actually like to do a lot of things. So I take it as a hobby. But being in event management, and during that time is a peak time for events, and I don't really have time to do anything else. So now I just focus to doing novelty cake for my family, my parents, or my kids. So now how actually I come up with this the food business is I have nothing to do, so I stay at home and cook, and I love to eat pork. Pork is one of my favorite food, and I can see that in Malaysia it's very hard for me to get a pork rinds or pork lard. You only can get it from a Hokkien mee or something. So I came up with 3 products first. That is a pork rinds, pork lard, and a pork lard butter, which I give it to my mom to cook, and then she said it's quite healthy and it's good. So I start to sell these 3 products with a variety of flavors. Then from there, I met a kind gentleman. Actually, he's my mentor. By chance, he actually took me under his wing and taught me how to smoke meat. And then from there, he taught me from A to Z how to buy the pork, how to choose the pork, how to clean the pork, and how to smoke the pork. From there, actually, I don't see the opportunity there yet. But he really helped me a lot. He gave me his customer for the first few months. That means my mentor ordered the bacon from me. So whatever he taught me, I make the bacon and he sell it to his customer. From there, I actually saw the opportunity there. So from there, I actually continue to do the smoked meat. And then since now is during the pandemic, I can do a lot of R&D at home, and then do more experiment and things like that. So this last month, I actually came up with burger patty and Swedish meatball as well.
Okay, later y'all have to sort of tell us how we can order all these things. So Alvin, you had a fairy godfather to come and train you, mentor you. Amazing, right? It's just so amazing when you have people like that in your life to come and give you that leg up and teach you everything they know. And it's so generous. It's such generosity. So, okay, so when you started, like Jermaine and Alvin, you started this, did you do like any market studies, or did you just say, great idea, I'm just going to start doing this as a business? Or did you try ideas, ask people, let them taste and all that first? So Alvin, how did that work with you?
Actually, I didn't do any market studies at first because like what I mentioned, my mentor actually gave me the first few months of the customer, and from there actually I started something, and that is most of my business is actually through word of mouth. at the moment, I'm not very professional in a online platform or anything. So now at the moment, I just post in IG and Facebook.
Okay, and what about you, Jermaine?
I think similarly to Alvin, we didn't do much market research whatsoever, but there were a few people that I saw were outstanding, and I kind of learned a little bit about how to go about it, because there are a lot of R&D when it comes to sambal and all the sauces that we make. We went through like a rigorous sort of R&D in terms of how to maintain shelf life, how to make sure that we get the right jar, how do we vacuum pack it, how do we make sure that we get the bottling right. There were a lot of things that we had to do. That's why we also did a little bit of like family and friends preview set. We actually sent to a couple of family and friends, and you were one of them, Sheila.
Yes.
Preview set, because we wanted to also hear from you all on how it tastes and what works and what won't. And then a lot of you all have been really kind to share with us as well, and we got really great feedback. Some influencer friends have been really kind to also tell us, to help us in a way to just share on their platform after they've tried it and they were good. I had a friend who also helped me out. Her name is Angeline Ng. She actually did a little bit of the Instagram sort of postings, because she's pretty well versed with an entire look and feel. We're all very new with F&B, the entire family, in terms of business, because when you eat at home, when you host people, it's very different from business, right? So people asking things like, oh, how long can it last shelf life? Can I leave it outside? Then I always tell people, hey, make sure don't leave it outside, because we are not sure how people store it, right? Different people have different storage method. And then some houses are a little warmer, a little more humid. So we always go like, okay, never mind. As long as you receive it, just put it into your fridge to be safe. So there were a lot of not market research, I would say, but a lot of testing of the product and the R&D from our side.
Yeah, and regard to that, anything that is pickled and all that, my mother taught me this. My mother and my own nanny said, never use a wet spoon when you serve yourself from that. And always, whatever it is, just to be on the safe side, keep it in the fridge. Then when you want to makan, just take it and warm it up and then makan. No harm, right? Always, it's better to refrigerate any food. What about the marketing and the distribution? So Alvin, you had your fairy godfather to give you all the clients and all that, right? So that marketing was kind of like taken care of for you lah. But what about the distribution with pandemic and all that sort of thing? And getting things sent on Grab is so mahal. So how do you do that?
Yeah, I'm currently distributing to consumer, like end consumer, and then I just go to Lalamove, or sometimes I self-delivery. I'm also very lucky that I get a meaty letter from one of my friends that opened a restaurant. So I get to travel for deliveries and things like that. So normally I will deliver once a week or twice a week. So I will collect more, then I will just follow the route and go.
And you, Jermaine?
Similarly to Alvin, we use third party in terms of logistics. So the Lalamove, the Grab Express, they've been really great. But we also, so what I did was I started working with a couple of the regular riders, because there were some not so legit experiences with some riders who end up sending to the wrong house, or sending a lot later after all the other jobs. And again, I had to make sure that my sambal all reaches my customers in a good condition, because I don't bubble wrap when I send them via the riders, but we're also available on Shopee and Lazada, where we bubble wrap them and get them sent over all over Malaysia. We have managed to send 5 parcels to Singapore, so we're really happy with Easy Parcel. And it's pretty straightforward, not too pricey, and the service is pretty good as well. In terms of marketing, like Alvin has a fairy godfather, right? I have various communities which I'm really glad I have bumped into a couple of people. So one is the F-Ambulance group where I met Song, this guy, from an event at my event space last time when we did a video workshop. And then from there, I met another guy called Clinston, who then introduced me to this other platform called Blue Spoon Community. When I met Marcus, he taught me on zero budget marketing. So I guess the community has helped also to give me a bit more knowledge about F&B, to give me a bit more knowledge about how to go about distributing, selling, because it's a completely different ballgame when it comes to F&B marketing or even selling compared to event spaces. But similarly to Alvin, thankfully, we have gotten a lot of good word of mouth. So businesses have been coming in with, again, zero budget marketing. And I'm very grateful for Marcus also, who has been guiding me with all the zero budget marketing, because we don't have much budget to play around with.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. But you know, today the biggest thing is e-commerce and social media marketing. I personally, no, I'll tell you this, being a bit like old school, for the longest time, I only had Facebook, and then even my LinkedIn was like, don't know how many years ago I posted things and all that. And then all those people who come for my programs have all started becoming my mentors and coaches, and they're teaching me stuff. So I'm getting regular scolding now. Sheila, your LinkedIn, it's terrible. No, I haven't posted anything. Get on with it. And then so I've got one person for that. Then I've got someone else who's like who's teaching me about Instagram and TikTok. I swore to myself at one point, I'll never go on TikTok. No way, I don't want it. But then I realized that there is a way to use it for business as well, to promote your business in an elegant way, which does not involve me singing and dancing and prancing around, making a fool of myself, So there are so many options out there actually today for small businesses that have started small with the opportunity to grow big. And I just have a question to ask you. Let's say, okay, this pandemic goes away, don't know when, but it does one day. Would the event be still an option for the future, Jermaine?
Definitely. So the reason why iKrave also came about is because we want to keep the momentum going, because it's always like that, right? Once you kind of die down and you reach to a level, complete halt, you get stuck, and then, it's difficult to come back up. So iKrave Sauces is a temporary project from our side, but of course we will continue that as well, because then we can still cook and we can still distribute them. But we are really hoping and pressing on to ensure that we can get back at our feet with the event space, the ARC event space at Sri Hatamas. We also believe in some ways that people would still want to come together in smaller groups, so our space can cater to small crowd without paying too much of a bomb or so. We're gonna start off with family gatherings first, because maybe people don't want to have gatherings in their house, they're a bit more weary. So let us do the sanitizing for you. Let us manage everything for you. Just come, wear your mask, social distance and all that. When you makan, we will have proper buffet line SOPs or even proper, own meal boxes and all that. So we will try to cater to the future of events, I would say. We will also do virtual events. We would also want to speak to people to, hey, do you want to do advertisements? You want to use our space for studio, photo shoots, come. We're not giving up, Sheila. We're definitely going to press on. And I think like what you said, you love our space. So we've been hearing customers telling us, don't give up. Customers still, have faith in us. They still have their deposits with us, and they said that at first it's a 1 year thing, right? And we refund if it's 1 year and it's still going on. But they said, never mind, we're just going to put it there. We believe things are going to get better with herd immunity and all that. So we're just counting the days.
Amazing. It's always good to have hope. I mean, something you know so well. And I suppose iKrave keeps the momentum going in terms of your database of customers as well, right? What about you, Alvin? One day, go back.
Yes, event is definitely in my blood, you see. So when I'm currently still taking job and I'm still doing a lot of costing and everything, but there is no more big event. But luckily I have my buddy with me. We scale down our event. So now we are actually doing more to event props. Like what I say, there is no big function or anything to run like launching or dinner show. So now what me and my buddy actually do is we're doing event props and fabrication. So in future, we hope that the event will come back, build a bigger stage, a bigger backdrop or everything. But at the moment, we are actually doing for virtual event like minor props for their products and just all these things. So for me, I will not give up on events. So it will come back. It will come back. Definitely will come back because what we mentioned before that there is on and off. But during the on time, there is a lot of clients that come to us and ask us for the putting and then come and I think they come and recce your space as well to look at the area and things like that. There is a lot, but it's just that they are not sure about the timing yet. So once it open, I think the business will come back.
Yes. Yes.
I do think so. I think when the numbers come down substantially, there will be people who would want to at least have small, safe events because you know what? Everyone's just so tired. You know, for a while it was a bit of a novelty, then it gets very tiring. And I think people are waiting to get back out there and have events and meet each other and even have proper product launches and all that. So I think once numbers go down and we can put in place all the safety measures, because this is not going to go away. This is just going to be the lifestyle of the future. But it's great, you know, that, I mean, for me, I look at it as if this had not happened, you guys wouldn't have found new businesses to go into.
Yes.
Correct. And those can just keep on running even if events come back. You've already got another income stream. And I think that's worked for a lot of people out there. So as I said, keep moving, keep finding new ways to do business, to keep yourself going instead of just sitting down there and saying, oh my gosh, you know, my world has changed. I don't know what to do. You guys are a great example of that, you know, Jermaine and Alvin. So any just last words, any advice for entrepreneurs right now who are stuck and say, like, I don't know what to do, I got no business. Jermaine, anything?
I'm still learning from a lot of entrepreneurs out there as well. But I think one thing that has, you know, the biggest takeaway for me, the entire MCO period is, or the lockdown period, right, the never ending lockdown period is that we just got to keep persevering. And whether it's to pivot or to just do something, right, you know, out of hobby or a project or a side, you know, a project, whatever it is, just to sustain our momentum. And then later on, you know, it might turn into something which, you know, can be, you know, an income stream. So I would say don't try too hard because we don't have a lot of money to spare. We don't have a lot of budget to go about, you know, starting up businesses. And a lot of people probably, you know, keep trying different businesses and then, you know, they use up too much money and then you know, get worse off from there. So just do something that you like, I would say, and then see if it can turn into a business. If it's, you know, small, so be it, slowly grow with it. If it's big, great, you know, work with people, collaborate. So I'm all about collaborations as well. Alvin, let's think about what we can do together for these, you know, bundle packages of our food, and even later on with events, when our space open, when, like you said, people are hungry for interactions, they're hungry to get together, right? So let's you know, speak to us on what we can do for you. But yeah, so don't give up hope, take heart. It's not the end of the world. It's going to pass. Even if it doesn't, we will somehow learn to coexist with it. Yeah,
thank you, Jermaine. That's powerful. And Alvin, what about you? Any advice to, you know, people out there don't know what to do lah? How
Well, I agree with Jermaine. Focus just on one business. Don't look for many business because you won't focus on the one thing. It's like I want to do this, I want to do that, but end up you doing nothing. And also try to dig deep and harness into your passion, like my love for experimenting food. So do what you love, do what you can. I always believe that every cloud has a silver lining there. So they really go and try it out and do what they really love to do.
I think that's fantastic advice because there's always something close to home which you know, you can actually harness into your passion, your ability, your capability, your skills. Like for you both, it's been the food business. For me, it's been other things. You know, I started, like, for example, art as a hobby, and then people say, "Hey, nice, are you selling?" I thought, I still don't paint to sell. I paint because it's my passion. And if people want to buy, then they buy. And so again, that's something that I've learned to harness, something that I'm passionate about, close to home, close at hand, no need to invest a whole lot of money, you know, other than the essentials for the equipment. So I think both of you have been really inspiring to people out there. Food business is one that has been thriving during this pandemic. I've seen so many people who have pivoted to a food business and they're doing really, really well to sustain themselves. So keep it going. Alvin, keep experimenting. I want to eat more flavors, and I'm going to really seriously order your pork rinds. I mean, like, my God, it's like, sounds like something so appealing. And Jermaine, time for another round of the sauces that I shall be calling upon you and ordering from you. So thank you very much, Jermaine B, Alvin Lee, for joining us today to share your experiences. It's like a ray of hope to a lot of people out there. Thank you again, and keep it going, and make some more sauces and experiment and come out with more products so that people can get to experience more of what you're putting out there, a good wholesome food. And thank you to our audience out there. You've been listening to me, Sheila Singham, on the Sheila Exchange, speaking to Alvin Lee and Jermaine B about pivoting during a pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you.